Attention. The movie guys love movies, so that's what you can expect in the next 90 minutes or so. A bunch of talk about movies. 'Cause we're called the movie guys. Isn't that right? Eaten alive.
And it's in the wake of something like Eaten Alive that I'm glad we're not the TV guys.
Oh, that's what that. Okay, which he didn't get eaten alive, right? He got squished or squozen alive. It should have been called Squozen Alive.
I think he backed out alive.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He got about head deep and he went, I'm out. After 2 hours.
You don't get to tap out of that.
Do you know this show? The guy.
Did you go head first?
Yeah.
I would have started with a foot. You could have gotten at least a good hour up to the waist, and I think the audience would have been happy with it.
There's been stuff about suits, the suit that he has, and it's specially made, and how he's going to get out, and the things he can say or do to get out, like when enough and get pulled out. And he went about a head deep, just the whole thing is stupid. And
I
I'm so glad we don't have movies that are like reality television. That's why movies are better.
I'm such a movie guy. When you said Eaten Alive, I'm like, why are we making fun of the Tobe Hooper movie?
You were the one that had to read it. I just looked at it and he said, "Here, read this." And I'm like, I don't even know what's happening on this piece of
and
paper.
You're better off.
And then he explained it, and I'm like, can we just read it so I'm done? Because I don't know what's happening on this piece of paper.
Well, you're like the producers of Eaten Alive. They're like, I don't know what's going on this piece of paper. Just greenlight it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, welcome to the movie Showcast, everybody, part of the vast and sprawling movie guys empire. It's not that I'm lazy, it's that I just don't care. You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with jokes, rants, sketches, characters, bits, special guests, and more as we broadcast from the Admirals Club in the heart of Burbank Airport Flyover Zone. They don't stop making movies, so we don't stop making comedy shows about movies, which means you can get a new show from us every week. Basically, search the World Wide Webs, however you care to, and we come right up. That's iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Player.fm, Stitcher, and of course, themovieguys.net. Absolutely free. And we encourage you to subscribe where you can, especially iTunes. And if you do, still,
no charge,
Paul. No charge. You can also find our showcasts like the one you're listening to on a couple of internet radio stations as well, including JonasMountainRadio.com Thursdays at 6 Eastern and WBAD.net Fridays at 4 Eastern. Enough housekeeping, please. Tell your friends, share and like posts and videos and all that stuff. I'm your host for the hardest working podcast on the airwaves, Paul Preston, here with Adam Witt, Lee Caius, and Karen Volpe. Later on in the show, we'll be joined by writer and producer of the web series Millennial Parents, Jake Greene.
Yay, Jake Greene.
Yay.
Stick with us. We got some great movie conversation coming up and a look at Bible-based movies in development. But first, our signature movie previews of what's new this week, starting with the Bible-based movie Exodus, Gods and Kings, directed by Ridley Scott. And you have no shortage of diversity in this week's film choices, because you can either go with the director of Alien and Blade Runner, or go with the director of My Wife is Great and Black President. I don't think those are the titles, but just like Chris Rock, as the director of those movies, I gave it a good shot. Here's a clip.
What's up? This is Andre Allen, and when I listen to satellite radio, I listen to Sirius Hits 1.
That's good. Just make it a little funnier.
Funnier?
Put a little stank on it.
Stank.
Nice and funny. Go.
What's up, mother? This is Andre Allen. Or scratch my nuts, that is.
First take was good.
Among other things, this seems like the story of a comedian that tries to make it as a serious actor.
Oh, you mean like Will Ferrell in Everything Must Go?
No, it's nothing like Will Ferrell and Everything Must Go.
Whew, good.
All right, but it does look interesting. That's top 5. Did I say top 5? That is the name of it, right? No, the top 5. I didn't say that.
I don't think he gets enough acting work, and I mean Brian Regan.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Regan. He's the guy recording
He's
that
the DJ
spot. Yes.
Yeah, I think he does a lot of commercials, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen him anywhere.
But this might be the first Chris Rock movie to kind of transfer him like what we like about him to the movies, from what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, what's the Bad Company? That didn't do it, for example.
Bad Company?
Yeah, with him and
CB4?
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
CB4.
Wasn't it Schumacher? Him and Anthony, it was an action movie. But anyways, yeah. It's Lethal Weapon 4, okay?
There you go. Yeah, exactly. That's not the Chris Rock. That's not going to deliver all the Chris Rock.
And as a result, I don't think Chris Rock is a very good actor. I think he's a brilliant stand-up, but in these movies, outside of maybe New Jack City, where he's pretty good, which we have the poster hanging here for those of you who can't see it.
What was his name in New Jack? I want to say Mookie, but that was definitely not.
Let's do the right thing.
I think that Chris's show...
Or the New York Mets. Go ahead.
I think that show that Chris produced and wrote, Everybody Loves Chris, convinced me that he's a good actor because I keep thinking that the little boy is him, and that little boy is a really good actor.
Yeah.
And then I keep thinking he's really hot because the dad in that is so hot. So I'm real confused with my Chris Rock thoughts because I just think he's a hot actor.
I say Chris Rock, now you
Hot
think
kid.
now you think Terry Crews.
And that's a good thing.
Whatever happened to Everybody Hates Chris?
It's awesome. I think it just
It went off
finished
the air.
its season, yeah.
Yeah.
But it got really good
Ran its route.
reviews.
It did a lot more seasons than I thought it
Yeah.
did.
Oh, and Terry Crews is just so.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's the show right there.
All right.
For the TV guys, when we go to TV guys, Brooklyn Nine-Nine all the way.
Good.
And Eaten Alive. All
And
those
Eaten
three
Alive, the
shows.
Toby Hooper movie.
Yeah, those are.
Oh.
All right, let's get to our first film of the week, Exodus.
All right, Pog.
Wait, don't leave. That's the name of the movie.
wait, what?
It's just the name of the movie.
I thought we got out of having to
sorry.
talk about the movie.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, good.
It stars Joel Edgerton.
Whoops, I think I left my car running.
All right. Let's
No, wait, get back here. Get back here.
Oh.
Why?
Why?
It's Exodus, Gods and Kings. All right, let's talk about it. Adam?
When Cameron was in Egypt's land, let my Cameron go.
I feel like Cameron right now. Absolutely.
What do you get when you take a foreign actor known for his fiery temper and put him in a movie set in ancient times, directed by Ridley Scott?
Gladiator starring Russell Crowe?
No. Well, yes, but no. You also get Christian Bale in Exodus, Gods and Kings.
That's right, Paul. Sunday school videos are about to get a whole lot more exciting as Moses gets a gladiator upgrade in your faith.
Yes, just
Wow.
Just in-
Holy shit. Good job, Adam. Way to totally nail the landing on that.
I stole the joke from a better comedian.
But he didn't tell it as well.
But you committed like a Russian gymnast. It was amazing.
Right? I even pointed to the camera.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know who he stole it from, but I never heard him do it, so it can't be
You're-
that good.
It's all you now.
Just in time for Christmas, it's the story of Moses. Ridley Scott, the director of Prometheus and White Squall, has added swords and chariots to Uncle Irving's telling of the Passover story in Exodus, Gods and Kings, as Moses is portrayed so pissed off that only Christian Bale could play him. Here's a clip.
I am a god. I am a god! Oh, good for you!
He's giving the Pharaoh what for.
Exactly the same.
The story is so legendary that you could base a religion around it, and so epic that you could make it into a movie 6 times. Ramesses and Moses are raised in Egypt as brothers, but when Moses finds out that he is adopted and Jewish, he hides 600,000 Jews where nobody would look. Indianapolis. Okay, all right, it's Israel, but at the time, kind of the Indianapolis of the Middle East.
Moses takes the Jews across the Red Sea to Mount Sinai. Seems a little far-fetched to me. I mean, I've been on the Beverly Hills community bus for an outing to the Hollywood Bowl, and it was hard enough to get 60 Jews to agree on the best route to take across town through Hollywood. I'm just saying they all have opinions.
Ramesses, the Pharaoh king, declares all-out war with his brother Moses, the, leader, union organizer? I don't know. What was his formal title there? I don't know. I think it was formerly known as the chairman of the Jews.
This is Jerusalem!
Is that the 300?
Now, when you think Moses, what comes to mind? A stately man of piety or an ass-kicking gladiator? Right, an ass-kicking gladiator.
They want Charlton Heston to play a Mexican.
Luckily for all the updates to the famous story, they don't replace Moses' trip down the river with a speedboat chase, or include a Sharknado as one of the many Egyptian plagues represented here by the best special effect of all, the wrath of God.
Fire. Power of God or something.
There we go.
Or something.
They've gone through all the trouble of gathering a multicultural cast. A Scotsman, an Englishman, a Welshman, and still Hollywood gets crap for not having enough diversity in their movies. What do you want? A Dane, an Aussie, and an Irishman? Would that be enough diversity for you? Would it?
You wouldn't know it from the trailer, but the film also features Aaron Paul, but we dug out a clip of him in the film. Here it is.
Yes, science, bitch!
All right, spoiler alert, God kills him for blaspheming about science. And John Turturro shows up as the Jew.
Tommy, you can't do this! You don't bump guys! It's not right, Tom! I can't do it!
It might have been Miller's Crossing, but either way.
I think that's from Miller's Crossing. How will Christian Bale match up to cinema's most famous Moses, Charlton Heston? Pretty good when you contrast these two takes on their most famous lines from the Ten Commandments. Go ahead.
Let my people go.
What the fuck is it with you?
See? They both kind of...
Very similar.
As we say, make it your own. So he just,
Right?
he just made that line his own.
Exactly.
Heston have an Oscar? Did he win for Ben-Hur?
I think everything won for Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
I mean, I
really
think that's why this is coming out in Oscar time.
It already was not nominated for visual effects at the VES Awards, I believe. I believe those nominations have come out. Or they shortlisted them and it wasn't there.
Wait.
Or they shortlisted the Oscars and it wasn't there. Either way, there are other movies getting more special effects love than this one. I think that's probably the best chance this has at any kind of awards.
Did it get nominated for any acting awards or anything?
No.
Really?
No.
Director, producer, nothing like
Well,
that? Because special effects, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's going to be hard to beat them, I think, probably for visual effects. Right? They've got raccoons and trees, and they all have heart, and they're fluffy, and, people seem to love them.
Yeah, well, to the tune of $330 million or whatever. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will make that.
Yeah. No talking raccoon.
Is there a holiday for this particular story in the Bible?
There's plenty of them.
Who here's read the Bible?
Is it, so it's Passover, right? Like it's the story of Passover.
And a few others.
And a few others?
Yeah.
Like what?
I think so. Well, they were out there for like 60 years or something. So
But we give them one holiday then?
No.
What are you asking, Paul?
I'm asking if there's a holiday based on this story.
On the story of Moses?
Of Exodus and the
okay.
and all that stuff.
Passover's the big one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting a thumbs up.
I'm getting a
Passover.
thumbs up.
Well, Passover is definitely the biggest Jewish holiday, but that's not this
But it's not the
story.
birth of Christ. So it's a weird time to put this.
Oh, wait, but Hanukkah might have been at this time, too.
Is that right? We don't know anything.
Because they only had so much oil, because they were out in the desert being chased by the pharaohs.
Let's tune into the religion guys and see what they have to say about it.
All I know is whenever I see movies like this or Moses or anything, it always reminds me of holidays where you get up early and you're in your bathrobes. God,
A lot of robes.
A lot of robes.
Robes and sandals.
Yeah.
Like the movie The Robe.
Ridley Scott has become, I think Karen said this the other day, the Homer of filmmakers.
Yeah.
He can't make a movie now that he can't turn into like a 3-hour epic.
Yeah.
If he told the story of like...
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
It would be a 3-hour epic and
Here's the
everybody would be
story
in robes.
of
In robes and sandals.
And they'd be cut. They'd all have 6-packs.
Time Warner taking over AOL. 3-hour epic. Yeah, it would have all that.
Chariots.
You can't do it small anymore.
Who sees these movies? Who are these movies for?
What happened to the
I don't
director
know.
of Someone to Watch Over Me?
These
What
are
were you
not
saying, Karen?
movies for chicks. These are not movies for guys who like to blow things up.
I have no interest in
Are
this
these
movie.
movies for people who go to church?
I wonder if it will reach
I
that
think
audience.
for sure. I think
Is that it? Because who else is seeing this?
But think about when you were a kid and you watched all these biblical epics that bored you. This one looks so exciting. Like if your parents are going to go, all right, let's go see a story from out of the Bible. You'd be like, yawn. But you see this. There's tidal waves and swords and horses and all kinds of, and Christian Bale screaming.
I know, but I wasn't a religious kid, so I never saw those other movies unless it happened to be on and we couldn't find anything else to watch. But on purpose, who puts their kids in a car and takes them to a building to watch this?
But how much better than like
somewhere?
Last Temptation of Christ or something? This
I
is
guess you're right.
But then again, I think it could go the other direction. I think real religious people could go, what have they done with 300ing up this?
What did they do to the one with the water there? The the floody one.
Noah. Yeah, Noah.
There's all sorts of creatures and stuff. They got pissed at that movie.
The
religious people.
I don't think this one that goes that far.
All right. Floody one. You know what I'm
floody
saying.
one.
The
Yeah.
floody one.
Totally
What's the
floody.
floody Bible? You say you're not religious? What's the floody
I know
Bible story?
Hard to imagine.
What's the one that's all pillar of salty? Which Bible story is that?
Is there a holiday based on Moses?
So this means that all of those church rec rooms are going to have to upgrade to Blu-ray or to a DVD player and some good big screen TV.
Yes,
I think
surround
so.
sound.
Yeah.
All right.
In 3D. This is in 3D.
Has to be in 3D.
This is the Bible in 3D. That
You know-
before this movie sounds like the worst idea. But when you see the giant, the Red Sea giant tidal wave at the end of the trailer,
The floody part.
the floody part of this
Wait a
story.
You know what? I just realized why it's in 3D because they need somebody to literally just keep pushing on the kid going, wake up, 3D, look. And then the seats just poke at him and go, stay with us, stay awake. Like whenever we're watching TV together late at night, I'll start to watch Breaking Bad or something and he'll start to zone out. I give him one. I let him start to fall asleep. I go, honey, stay with the movie. And then the second one, I just let him sleep and I watch it to the end.
Well, I like Breaking Bad, but we shouldn't watch it at 1 a.m.
But then he makes Floody in his bed.
Right. And then I have to be like, wake up, go to the bathroom.
Don't make Floody in your pants.
All right, wait a second. I got some big names waiting out here to come in. So,
What?
well,
I saw the line outside.
Yeah, this isn't the first Bible tale that's gone epic in hopes of big box office success. Films like Passion of the Christ was huge, right? And even the animated Prince of Egypt made $100 million. So all the Ridley Scott caliber filmmakers in Hollywood want in. So Karen and I here have decided to hear pitches
Sure.
about these projects
Absolutely.
from Hollywood's elite. These guys have been developing more Bible movies, and I want to bring them
All
in
we
here.
do here in the
I
garage.
was going to say, you guys have
Pitches.
decided to take meetings.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you can't get a meeting, you take a
'em. There
meeting.
you go.
If it's going to be a hit, we want in, right? So go ahead, send in the first filmmaker. Who do we
All
have
right.
here? Hi, sir.
Hi, I'm David Fincher, and I've got a great adaptation of Cain and Abel, the world's first murder mystery.
Oh, I love murder mysteries.
Very intriguing.
Yeah.
All right, so we begin on Abel. You know, he's lying dead on an altar. Nobody's ever been murdered before, and so everyone's wondering who killed him. Cain's life unravels because of a crime that he swears he didn't commit.
But Cain killed him.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, we do. It's
Oh, sure, now, but in the movie, we don't know. Could be anybody. Could be you, could be me.
It could only be Abel or Adam or Eve.
yeah.
Okay, it's not Eve. She has a solid alibi. Business retreat.
Okay, then it's one of two other people in this world with a population of 4, where one has died and one was definitely in Tahoe.
Yes, but I want audiences to feel like they could have killed Cain.
But they couldn't have because they weren't born yet.
Okay, in a literal sense, no.
Okay, and who's even doing this investigation?
Detective Ray Scalacci from Brooklyn. He's a grizzled old cop who's only 2 days from retirement.
But there are
We don't-
only 3 people on the earth.
Well, he's a character we've made up to help tell the story.
Okay, get the hell out of here.
can make
All right,
people up.
Next.
Hi, I'm Paul Feig.
This is director of Bridesmaids and The Heat. I
Oh,
like those.
glad you heard of The Heat, because Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy are back in a comedic adaptation of Jonah and the Whale, entitled Joanne and the Whale. It's loosely based on the biblical tale about a young boy who tries to run from God, only to be swallowed whole by a giant whale.
Very loosely, because you've cast women.
It's what I do, Paul. Joanne and the Whale is the story of a skinny pretty girl played by Sandra Bullock who gets trapped in the body of, well, Melissa McCarthy.
Sounds like all of me.
Meet Shallow Hal.
Exactly.
Not the film You.
Well, things go hilariously wrong during cosmetic surgery, when a curious nurse wants to see what a liposuction hose would feel like on her lips. Joanne, played by Sandra Bullock, is accidentally sucked into the body of Melissa McCarthy, the RN assisting the procedure.
Okay, I think what you're hoping for is a perfect mix of Melissa McCarthy's physical comedy and Sandra Bullock's,
Voice.
Well, it's 2 souls living in one body. Hilarity ensues as the glamour puss literally sees the world through the eyes of someone who actually has to work for a living.
No.
Get out of here, Paul Feig. Shouldn't you be remaking 48 Hours with Reese Witherspoon and Queen Latifah?
Yeah, get out of here,
Next.
Feig. All
I like that
Who do we have next?
Hi, I'm Kevin Feige of Marvel Studios, and I think that's how I pronounce my name. And our team has put together an adaptation of the creation story that's going to knock your socks off.
Okay.
We begin with the character of Darkness. He's giant, he's black, he's infinite. We've got some models and designs from Weta on this. It's amazing.
I'm listening.
And then he meets God. All right, we're talking to Pacino. God's got different ideas. He wants light, and he's prepared to do anything to get it. He's got a device he calls the Big Bang. We've already got some designs from Mattel in the Big Bang playset and the Bouncy House for kids. No Quinceañera will be without this thing.
So it's God versus darkness?
That's just the first act, a battle of cosmic scale. Now, I've got some previs from Imaginary Forces on this. I'd love to show it to you.
I don't see how darkness can be a compelling character.
Well, you saw what we did with trees in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
What do you see what we do with gradations in light?
Okay, so where does it go after God beats darkness?
Well, at the end of the credits, we reveal Earth. Big twist, big surprise. Turns out there was a little more to this Big Bang. How much? Audiences will find out the following summer in Earth, the Creation Part 2, Day 2.
Wait a minute. How many parts are in this?
Well, there's 1 movie per day of creation, so 8, just like in the Bible.
In the Bible, God created the earth in 7 days.
Yes, but we're turning the final installment into a 2-part finale.
But that's the day God rested.
We're Marvel. We made $200 million overseas just talking about it here with you. Now, can I show you some amazing character designs we've got for the 6th day when God creates all the talking animals?
You've been greenlit!
Finally, congratulations, Kevin
Wow,
Feige.
even I'm
you're the
surprised
guy.
by that.
Yeah, well, we go for the money
Cow.
in the end.
I see.
We're in a garage, for the love of God. And I want to expand this thing. So who doesn't back Marvel? I mean, it's what you do. They always win. But get out of here, Feige.
Thanks,
All right.
Paul. Bye.
We have another film to talk about. Now, Lee, are you back?
I'm back. Thank
Okay,
you for
excellent. I can tell by the
asking.
clarity of your voice.
yeah.
Let's talk about Top 5. Now, nobody's quite sure what Top 5 means.
Do we got?
Seems like the title of part 1 of a 2-part adaptation of a David Letterman Top 10 list. But here we go.
It's about time for the top 5. Why 5? Because the man would never give me 10 of anything. I'm lucky to get 5.
See, all I see are muscles and rippling chests now. That's all I see. Excellent.
In Top 5, Chris Rock plays a stand-up comedian that sounds just like Chris Rock. Now, that's a character we can all get behind.
Especially Karen.
Oh, yeah.
The movie portrays Rock as a stand-up comedian, Andre Dre Allen, who had a great stand-up career, but then went on to star in some completely embarrassing movies, and now tries to resurrect his career by making a prestige picture. Wait, hold on. Is this the adaptation of Chris Rock's life or Eddie Murphy's?
Well, he succeeds.
Oh. Then I guess it's Chris Rock.
Now, the film is set during an all-day press campaign, going from interview to interview. It's a format that allows Chris Rock to interact with all the other characters, mostly as a stand-up comedian doing stand-up jokes. Now, that's a plot line for a Chris Rock movie we can all get behind.
Especially Karen.
Sure.
See how I'm doing that?
Thank you. I'd like to get behind him because that guy has a nice ass, too. So
This is what
all
I'm
good.
saying.
But Chris Rock?
No, who I
the-
think of when I think
yeah,
of Chris Rock.
Terry Crews.
Yes.
Okay, I want to make that clear.
The Chris Rock that's in her head when
Is
she...
Terry Crews.
Is Terry Crews. But the plot thins as Dre is being followed by a reporter played by Rosario Dawson, who I assume he's going to fall in love with, or at least reassess his life to attain love of. I won't even get into how much I'd reassess all over Rosario Dawson.
Again, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but the trailer already has. They fall in love. Stupid trailers.
The movie is being called Woody Allen-esque. I assume that's being said because it's an earnest introspective comedy about blossoming love with a Manhattan backdrop, and not because it's high potential for tennis murder.
The film is written and directed by Chris Rock and produced by Scott Rudin, who is known for producing No Country for Old Men. Eli Bush, also, who is known for producing The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And Jay-Z and Kanye West, who are known for producing A General Annoyance.
Not since she took the form of a shirtless Patrick Swayze in Ghost has Whoopi Goldberg done this much gender bending.
I got married a lot of times, but I wasn't into the wedding, and everyone knew it. I should have been into the guy.
Whoopi not being into the guy. That's the reason her marriage has failed. Yeah, sounds about right.
With Chris Rock's film featuring a bevy of African-American actors and comedians on screen. A bevy. This has sharp social and satirical comments on reality TV and even hip-hop culture. This looks to be a dark comedy. That's not what I meant at all.
Oh, good. This movie has strong word of mouth. Some portions of the internet have even said that if this movie was measured in vegetables, that a significantly larger portion of those vegetables would still be usable in some sort of salad and or sandwich, and a smaller portion of them would have to be thrown away. That is how serious they are about this movie.
This movie digs under the surface of show business, politics, rap, and being rich and famous, and reveals how even black people have problems. That's your movie.
Now I will tread lightly on this. Paul and I were talking about posters for black movies.
I don't see you treading lightly, but continue.
And by tread lightly, I will speak slowly and softly, but I will still say the same words. Why does it seem as though all black movie posters are nothing but the names of every single actor that's in the movie?
That's true. Your lottery ticket.
Your
best
friend's holiday.
Your best man. Your best man's
best man's holiday.
Best friends. You got Karenitis.
I think it's because these movies that you're talking about are all-star productions. They have all these black stars in it.
Yeah, that's
like
the thing.
Best Man Holiday has like 10 legitimate, well-known people, so they just stack them all up.
You know, I think that might be the answer.
Yeah, so did JFK, but it kind of said Kevin Costner, JFK.
Oh, okay.
Tim Robbins, the player.
Well, look, JFK, the president, is going to be bigger than everybody in that movie, I have to say. Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of giving everybody credit.
Well, I love that Brian.
Cool.
You mentioned Brian Regan. He got credit. That's
well,
cool.
that's what I'm saying is it's not done on any other poster. It doesn't seem to be done on
Robert Altman movies did it.
Did they?
Yeah, but that's
true.
a while back.
Did Amadeus do it?
No.
The black
Lee
black
Daniels,
and
the
white
butler,
poster?
did it. Wait a second.
I'm
There you
just
go.
saying, they're making my
that's
point.
your point.
I kind of like that. If I were finally in a movie, I'd want my name on the damn poster.
No, I agree.
That's cool. Sure.
I'm just noticing that's a trend.
You know what's funny though? You mentioned that, and I can't remember if it was the. I went to high school with a comedian who's in Best Man Holiday. He's in a bunch of these Kevin Hart movies, and he plays to black crowds, but he's a white comedian, and he wasn't on the. He was the only cast member that wasn't on the cast. What was it was a recent.
I remember
one, right?
that.
Oh, they go to
it was
Vegas. It
Think
was
Like a Man
Think
2.
Like a Man 2.
Think Like a Man 2. Yeah, exactly. The Vegas one. And so the I think it was the Entertainment Weekly article, or no, there's the DVD cover, has everybody from the cast except him. But, I'm sure he doesn't have that gigantic a part in it. But maybe he does. I don't know. I just thought, well, he is the white guy in this movie.
Well, I'm just wondering how the conversation is had with everyone's agent. Is that a conversation that everyone's agent has? Do they negotiate to get on the poster, or is it just assumed I'll be on the poster? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that is maybe that's a particular tactic employed by African American agents.
Employed by Morris Chestnut's agent.
Morris Chestnut's agent. Strong arming Hollywood.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, from those Sony hacked emails, they released. They're starting to put together some interesting facts from those. Turns out Kevin Hart's kind of a prick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was leaked in the Sony. He wouldn't tweet as a part of doing press. Now, he has a point.
I was going to say, I don't know if that qualifies as prickiness, right?
Traditional press. Well, he wanted some money to tweet.
Oh,
anyway.
That's a fine line.
That's a fine line.
Well, I mean,
it's true. It's not traditional press.
But Karen, like you said, if we finally make it into a big movie like that, you're going to tweet, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to tell everybody, even wake up people in the middle of the night and let them know I'm in the movie.
Yeah.
Phone
They're
calls.
going to be like, stop telling me. I'll be like, look, I'm calling you again.
And on the poster.
I'd be like, I want to be on the poster. I'll go around and write my name on the poster. I'm just a team player once I get to play on the team. I don't care what team it is.
As soon as you're drafted.
I'm on and
out there,
100%
man.
ready.
Who is the best stand-up turned actor?
Wait a minute. My head just exploded.
Steve Martin.
Are you asking who ended up being the best actor, or who was the best stand-up ever that decided to act?
Who has the best acting career from former stand-up comics?
Okay, that's a very different question.
It is?
Well, yeah, because I think I thought you were asking who's the best.
Made the transition.
Yeah, I'm convoluting it. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. I'll tonight.
Guy who did stand-up now acts. Who's the best?
At
Wait,
what
Paul.
though? Best at what?
What about comedians who sit down?
At acting.
Okay,
It's
at
like,
acting.
who's the best? Like if you said who's the best rock star turned actor.
Well, let me give you an
wouldn't
example
say,
of what I'm saying.
At rock? No,
here's
you'd go at acting.
Here's what I'm saying. Chris Rock might be the best stand-up that's ever tried to act, but he's not doing a good job at acting.
Right. Well, that would be who's the best stand-up ever.
Okay.
But
that's
who's
true.
the best actor?
Yeah, but Steve Martin
I was
was
gonna
a
say-
great stand-up, and now
'cause
he's got a really sizable and really, you can look at his acting career and not be embarrassed by
You
it.
mean best actor or funniest actor?
No, Karen got it right. Steve Martin.
I think Karen's right too.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow. We'll have to mark this down in
I mean,
history.
All of Me, Roxanne.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, but you
those-
go
those
through
are
Eddie
sort of-
Murphy's.
well, George Carlin
His career
in
was great, too.
that little kid show with the trains. Charlie the Train. What's the train?
That wasn't a movie.
Thomas the Tank
George
Engine.
Carlin was
Thomas
in
the
Car
Tank.
Wash.
That's retarded TV, which is why we don't do TV.
George Carlin was in Car Wash.
Retarded.
And
Bill
Franklin
and Ted's,
Ajayi was in.
We also have to
Car
look
Wash.
at Billy Crystal. Even though he wasn't, he's
Yeah.
very sizable in both of those.
Oh. Jake says Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Might have a point.
Oh.
Robin Williams?
Over longevity
Best
of
actor,
career?
best
And
actor.
best actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Steve Martin doesn't have any Oscars, does he?
No. Robin Williams. That's probably the best actor that was a stand-up comedian. That's got to be.
Which was the original question, correct, Paul?
Jesus Christ. All right, let's take a break.
Let's get Jake on to explain something.
I want to have a little more fun with top 5 here, but we're going to take a break, figure out what actors are, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. After we hear from our sponsor, we'll have Jake Greene.
Yeehaw! Hillbilly Horror Show, the series Wicked Channel gives 9 out of 10 stars, is now on DVD. BestHorrorMovies.com says it's a lot of fun, and I'm itching for more.
It sure is.
If you love horror films and want to see the lovely Lulu played by Rachel Faulkner featured in Maxim strutting around in her Daisy Dukes,
Pretty as a hog wallering in the mud.
then Hillbilly Horror Show is for you. Grab your copy at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or visit us on the web at hillbillyhorrorshow.com.
That may be the last time we hear from the Hillbilly Horror Show for a while. But so I'll remind you to check out their show, hillbillyhorrorshow.com. If you're listening to us, you obviously like movies and comedy, so that's kind of what they're doing.
And you like hillbillies.
And if you like it, well, if you're listening to us, you love hillbillies.
Or whores.
Definitely whores.
Horror show. Horror show.
I still would like to see that girl walking around in Daisy Dukes. We just get, your guy friends who are like
Trying to make that
comedians.
happen in here. Yeah, we'll see.
Fine. Some Daisy Dukes. Do you have any on you?
I don't know. That sounds like it sounds like a pitch if you're trying to get like an 11-year-old in the 80s to watch a movie, right? When they didn't have access to much, it's like, see a woman you vaguely know walking around in jean shorts.
And they're like, sign me up. I'll do that.
Joyce DeWitt in jean shorts.
Oh,
You know we can't show you boobs. You're not expecting that. But shorts.
Well, you heard him here. Let's introduce now our special guest, who's the producer and writer of, among other things, Millenial Parents, a comedy web series that can be found at millennialparents.com. Jake Greene, everybody.
Yeah, Spider-Man and Freeze in full effect.
All right, enough of that. Jake, how are you?
I'm overwhelmed by that introduction
It was
music.
kind of amazing.
Jake was sitting in our green room during the first half of the show, and he came up with Robin Williams as best actor.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're
who
right.
Used to be best actor who used to be a stand-up comic.
Hey.
Didn't he get both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor Oscars?
Nominations.
Same year, for the same role. That's how good he was.
Not true.
That did not
He
happen.
won Best Supporting for Good Will Hunting, but he was
Hunting.
nominated for Good Morning Vietnam, and
Good Will Hunting.
and he won for Good Will Hunting for Best Supporting Actor.
Did I just
He
get
was
here?
not also nominated for Best Actor in that same year.
Oh, okay.
Who put a nickel in you? What the hell's happening?
I know. I wish it was like $1, so it would happen less often. But you're so
If
cheap.
your life had a poster, you'd be every name on it.
Jesus.
You mean he didn't win for Patch Adams
Not so much. Not so much.
or Jumanji?
What is your favorite movie of all time? We ask every guest who comes in here.
It's hard. It's so hard. I'm probably The Godfather, but my interest in what I've been lately in movies, I've been trying to figure out if movies that I loved as a teenager still stack up. So I've been watching like a series of those.
Oh, yeah?
The movie I've re-fallen in love with is Dazed and Confused.
Oh, okay.
It's not the favorite. I think it still loses to The Godfather by a nose. But
those respectable choices are so boring. I retired my top 10, so I go sneakers. People are like, sneakers is your
Love
favorite
sneakers.
movie? Yeah, it is.
Love sneakers. we could spend a long time talking about sneakers, which by the way is another one of those movies where they just would have all 8 super famous people listed on the poster.
That's true. And all their faces and names.
Yeah, you're right.
The names
That would be
vertically,
one of
the
them.
faces horizontally.
Yeah.
Sneakers what is the line? My voice is my passport. Verify me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Say the name. Passport.
People pay you to break into their places so people don't break into your places?
Oh my gosh.
You haven't gone crazy on me, have you, Cos?
Everybody is in that movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah. But New Jack City, we were just saying, Adam says, does not hold up. Correct?
No, now...
Because I remember liking that.
I liked it in the theater. I thought it was great.
I didn't see it as a youth. As a ute. I didn't see it as a ute.
What's
The two Utes.
I just saw it in the last year, and Mario Van Peebles is just a terrible, like a 1989 style terrible director.
Bit ham-fisted.
Which has a charm, right? That 1989, like you definitely fog the room down before you start shooting. Every room's got that
Like in Black Rain. You remember that movie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Rain. Yes.
Rest in peace, Ken Takakura. He died. What am I going to do?
You're right. Those movies have a quality that makes me feel like I might have an asthma attack. Like, because it seems very, like, full of humidity.
And someone comes through on a bike and it swirls.
And I'm
right?
like, I can't breathe, really, when I watch that movie.
Yeah.
I get a little...
Yeah, and that was a big Tony Scott fan. Rest in peace. Ken Takamura as well. No, but if you ever watch Cool as Ice, it is clearly a director of photography who only watched Tony Scott movies and really wanted that atmosphere.
For this comedy, for the Vanilla Ice comedy.
It's a serious movie.
Oh, it is?
Cool as Ice?
Was he Rob Van Winkle at that point, or was he still Vanilla Ice?
No, he was Vanilla Ice.
Oh, yeah, he was Vanilla
Cool
Ice.
as
That was like
Ice.
right away. That was your hot movie. Boom.
Right.
Exactly.
Can't waste any
We're
time.
going to give you the Ninja Turtles 2 soundtrack and Cool as Ice.
Cannon Group likes what you're doing. You know?
They're going to get behind you.
Yeah.
Trust Goal and Globus with your career.
Goal and Globus
Not going to be a problem.
likes what they see in you, young man.
Well, we're talking about your favorite movie, which you're going to go with Godfather.
I think I got to go with Godfather. I also love there's a bunch of movies that are
Which, let me just
What
interrupt
is it
and say,
about Godfather
Wait, let me just
also?
interrupt and say on that. That's the one I think that isn't boring of the old classics that you're talking about. Gets
No,
stodgy
it's
over
not
time.
boring, but I'm just saying.
Some of them do. Magnificent Ambersons.
No, but nobody's going to list
Great
that.
film,
All
but
right.
dull.
But I think nobody would really list that. I'm just saying it's one of those that like we recognize the quality, so it sort of stops discussion in a certain way. But what do you take from that? Might be a different.
Well,
angle.
I mean, no, that's exactly the problem. Is that it's a glorious movie in almost every respect. So it's kind of a conversation killer. But I'd say other movies in my top 5 that aren't always in people's top 5. I think Scent of a Woman is a fantastic movie. I kind of love it, and I know there's some holes, but
is there a sentiment there as well? Is it sort of
well,
like,
you got
Is overacting a hole? I never thought of it as a hole.
But keep in mind, at the time he did it, there wasn't a body of work where he was doing that same type of character that he then repeated in a number of other movies.
He'd only done Dick Tracy, I think, to prep him for.
That's
Scent of a
true.
Woman.
That's true. He never quite got rid of Big Boy Caprice.
However, Dick Tracy, which I remember mostly for the fantastic McDonald's Monopoly game that happened with it. You know, no one could. Lips Manless was worth like $1 million.
I do not remember this.
You don't remember that? They had all of the. If you found Mumbles. That was another movie, by the way, where everybody was in it. Dustin Hoffman as Mumbles.
But not on the poster.
That would be the complete poster. You're right.
Only Warren Beatty was on the poster.
Yeah.
Big Boy did it.
We've got with this New Jack City poster that's right behind you. I'm amazed at the amount of punctuation in the log line.
All right, here we go. This is, and as you were saying, they used to have these just paragraphs on the poster. They definitely don't have this anymore. Go ahead and read it, Paul.
No, where survival depends upon friends, trust, and power,
comma,
and
...
ellipses, an organized crime family out to run the city is up against cops who know its streets. That is a lot. You're either going on the names.
Not even a catchy description.
Yeah, you're either going on the names across the top, or you're not going.
I don't know what you just said. I sort of zoned out.
Exactly.
I'm guessing that my friends are like my family, and we're gonna take over the cops. Is
It's a
that
coming
wrong?
of age story.
Yeah, you're not gonna root for the bad guys.
No.
Well, there's cops know its streets. That's the tough thing.
And I was looking at that going,
Does
is
that
it
mean are the
IT
cops-
apostrophe S? It's streets. That would be it is streets. So it's showing ownership of the streets.
Does that mean the cops are the streets
Right.
and they know it?
I think that's what it says. I'm getting confused.
They should have just put that. When the cops are the streets, know who your friends are.
There you go. I understand that.
Because survival depends on that.
The thing is, at the time the movie was made, people looked at that poster and they're like, "Wow, you got me with that stylish beret that he's wearing."
Yeah.
It's really very it's very beret, and it's also very shoulder paddy.
Very Black Panther.
Yeah.
What were you saying
Everybody's got shoulder
beforehand?
pads.
Take this cast, and what movie would they be in
I
today?
would love it. Take this. If you were to cast Judd Nelson, Ice-T, Wesley Snipes, and Mario Van Peebles in a movie today, what is that movie?
Well, first of all, are they all still alive?
That's a good question.
Yes.
Oh, they are. The
Yes.
fact that we can't answer it right away.
And Chris
makes me
Rock.
nervous.
And Chris Rock is in that movie.
Yes.
Yes. I would say Universal Soldier 5. They would all be in.
They would not be in a movie I would go see.
No.
CB5. I'm going with CB5.
The sequel. All right, well, speaking of Chris Rock, let's go back to top 5 as I promised. Now, in that film, Chris Rock is constantly asked his top 5 hip-hop acts, right? Every time he does this...
I guess that's where the title comes
yeah,
from.
I think
right?
he does this press tour, and that's what everyone keeps asking him. So let me be equally annoying and see what you guys can come up with for the following questions. Give me your lists for the following, your top 5 favorite movies. So this is going beyond 1, because I can do 3. Number 1, Raiders. Number 2, No Country for Old Men. Number 3, Broadcast News. Elsewhere in the top 10 are Pulp Fiction and The Godfather, but I'll plug them into 4 and 5 just to
I
wrap it up.
wasn't told that there would be homework.
Or a quiz.
I was told there
See,
would
that's
be
the
no
thing.
math.
Yeah, we're just trying to, let's see off the top of your head, because as we always say, your favorite film of all time is your favorite film right now. So what's your top 5 right now?
Shawshank's on the list for me.
Yeah.
Shawshank, Godfather, Sneakers, and Dazed and Confused.
I've got eclectic taste.
I need to go back and watch
Throw in
Days.
It should be eclectic.
Throw in the B movie with Jerry Seinfeld and Renee Zellweger, and we've got my weekend.
That needs to be thrown somewhere.
I'm gonna throw Stuart Saves His Family on there, along with Ghostbusters, and then
You're too deep.
And then the one with all my boyfriends in it that we just watched.
Love Actually.
Yeah, and then
Gotta be Groundhog Day.
I know you.
Groundhog
Bridget
Day,
Jones' Diary
yeah,
and
and Bridget
Groundhog
Jones.
Day.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Right, and
I'm
then
gonna go with Ed Wood,
Yeah.
Big Lebowski, Few Good Men. That's 3.
Jack Reacher.
Today, yeah. Somebody, I had gotten a fight with a woman. I stopped dating a woman who said that Jack Reacher was contrived and like hackneyed. She's like, "Oh, the milky-eyed guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I love the milky-eyed guy. It's Herzog." Like she said that was such a trite cliche.
Bringing in Herzog. Oh, who everyone brings in Herzog to play the villain.
It's got to be weird with you though, Lee, because when you talk to your dates about movies, don't they all have thick
Rushmore.
Russian accents?
Yeah, they.
So they're like, I do not understand the bad guy is Russian.
They should know Herzog.
Right?
At least he's from
That's all I'm saying.
So I got 4. Rushmore might be
Eastern
my
Europe.
4th.
Break
Oh,
out
there
the
you go.
Eisenstein films the next time you're on a date with
That might-
Russian girls love Eisenstein.
Just bring up Mikhail Baryshnikov and you'll get a lot further.
seen the Battleship Potemkin lately. Yeah, see how that goes. What do you got, Adam?
Well, my retired ones that I don't talk about as much, but these are obviously my real top 5. Is Star Wars, Avengers, and Heat and The Professional used to be way up there, so I'll just keep them up there. And yeah, I just go Sneakers. I don't know. There's some others
I
up
love
there.
that Sneakers.
I'm gonna go with
love
Sneakers
today.
too. Sneakers gonna be my 5th one too.
It's probably Empire Strikes Back, but that's boring to just go Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
I love how Phil Alden Robinson.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Raiders is up there.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Of course.
I love how Phil Alden Robinson directed
Oh,
Field of
Wonderful Life.
Dreams, and we're all talking about
Oh, I
Sneakers.
love.
I
I
Wonderful
love.
Life.
Get in there.
I'm
I
taking
love
it off.
Field of Dreams.
I'm taking Sneakers out, putting in Wonderful Life.
Top 5 actors. Go, Karen. I think you can nail this.
Bill Murray, Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, Colin Firth, and Robert Downey Jr.
There you go. Oh, see, I didn't even realize you would be leaving people out like Hugh Grant and Liam Neeson. But
Well, it's because I
that's a
thought
good
of,
top 5.
Yeah, it's hard because they're all so great.
I would
Tom
go-
I even
Cruise-
got women in there too.
Tom Cruise will take up my first 3.
Yeah.
He is
Maybe-
pretty great.
Yeah, he demands to take up 3 slots.
Yeah,
It's
I wish
not-
yeah.
You don't have a choice.
Exactly.
Well, because he plays different variations on himself. Like he's the confident Tom Cruise, and then he's the I don't know what's quite going on Tom Cruise, and the I'm figuring it out Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Johnny Depp, and then I'm gonna go back a little ways. Jack Lemmon.
Oh, Jack Lemmon's the greatest.
Jack Lemmon was such a
No
great
argument
actor,
there.
right?
Yeah. In fact, now that you bring him up, I'm going to put him in my top 5 with Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, and Gene Hackman, one of the greatest.
I'm noticing
ever.
there's not a lot of women.
There's
There's another
happening.
list. He's got another favorite.
No, he said women and men.
Actors includes male or
And
female.
Julia
At
Roberts.
least I put both of them in there.
I thought we were gonna have lady list later.
You know,
on.
it's a great movie with Gene Hackman that I'm astonished has not been remade. Is The French Connection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen that? French Connection 2, both great movies.
Never seen the sequel. I've heard it's great though.
The sequel is good. Yeah,
they're
it's
both
good.
really good, and it's with like The Gambler coming back, that era is totally ripe for being butchered and overdone.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
didn't
definitely, I mean-
I kind of would hate that at the same time though. But yeah, you're right.
Well,
It holds up in a 70s kind of way. It holds up in its era.
right. Hopefully, it's done more Thomas Crown than in the remake style than a lot of the remakes that have been done. I actually thought
Yeah.
that was a pretty good remake.
The thing is, Thomas Crown Affair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's Pierce Brosnan, right?
Julia Roberts.
One of my favorite actors.
Julie Roberts. What?
She's in Tom's Crown Affair.
That's
No, she's
Renee
not. It's
Russo,
Renee Russo.
but
Fuck. She would have been good in it though.
Renee Russo. There's my 5th. So there's my 5 actors.
you can imagine what it would have been like if she was.
Now, see, the thing about a remake of The French Connection, they're just going to shoot it digital and do that standard blue-gray sort of like overlay to
The
make
laundry
it
lens.
to make it dark and gritty. Like they'll put on the dark and gritty function in the computer and be done with it.
Yeah, the fact that it was shot in 1970 the first time means it's automatically dark and gritty.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You ever thought about the fact that maybe the reason everything was dark and gritty in the 70s and the 60s is because they were smoking on camera?
Yeah, there was smoking. There were no smog
Fucking
regulations.
smoking
Right.
everywhere.
The world was just dark.
It was just dirty and gritty back then.
You got top 5 actors?
No, I'm trying to think of who would star in a buddy cop movie called Dark and Gritty.
Dark and gritty.
I think
Okay,
Judd Nelson and Mario Van Peebles.
There you go.
I'm dark and he's gritty.
Together, we're fighting crime. Top 5 Top 5, Adam had top 5 favorite fight scenes.
I like the scene in Bridget Jones' Diary where Colin Firth and Hugh Grant kick at each other.
I may put that in my top 5. That one is hilarious because they suck so bad at it.
So
Oh, they get mad at each other and they just like they're swinging and it's.
And they kick and then they go through a window and it's awesome.
Yeah, probably like guys would actually fight.
Yeah.
I would take a couple on two ends of the spectrum. I think there was a great fight scene that just was out in 22 Jump Street. If you saw the fight scene with Jonah Hill and that woman who keeps taunting him for being old.
Oh yeah.
And then the one in Eastern Promises, just because like I didn't see that coming at all. Like the like
never seen it.
The switchblade naked in a bathhouse against 5 assassins.
Oh no shit.
Fight scene was pretty.
Viggo Mortensen, it's freaking crazy. That scene is out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, like the whole time I didn't really want to watch it, but I couldn't stop watching it. It was
just naked men knife fighting.
Well, they figured.
I think he was the only naked
sword
man.
fighting or knife fighting?
Yeah,
they didn't show his knife, which was helpful to me.
They're gonna go in and get him where he could not fight back at all. He's just sitting in a steam room, and then guys come
I
at
like
him.
that you said it was bonkers. That makes me like it 100%.
It was. It was one of those things where I hadn't been warned that it was happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, they're gonna do this. It just kept going on. It was like one of those Family Guy fight scenes between Peter and the chicken. Like it just kept. You're like, wow.
There's a naked scene in Borat or something with him and his manager that goes on.
Yes.
Absolutely top
that's a
5.
great fight
amazing.
scene. That's
Amazing.
a great fight scene.
They fight through an actual convention in a hotel.
And it never ends. Like you said, they're done. Oh no, they're in the elevator. They're done. Oh, they're in the hallway. They're done. They're in the trade show or whatever. Oh, that's great.
They stop in the elevator. That's the best part. They stand on the side naked, and there's 2 people in the middle of them.
I love that.
Oh yeah, balls get in faces and stuff. That is
We saw that in the theater. It's the first time I've ever seen a movie in the theater with Paul, where he had to get up out of his chair and lie on the ground because he couldn't handle what was happening.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get me laughing out loud. Success because
He was out of his chair.
Oh my
It was
god,
funny.
it was disrupting the whole theater. It was too funny.
I might have done that at the end of Bruno with that. There's a fight at the. That's great at the end of Bruno.
Straight Dan.
Yeah, he
whatever.
plays. Have you ever seen Bruno?
Yes.
See Straight Dan, the MMA fighter
in the Arkansas. The Arkansas fighting thing.
And they get inside. Have you seen this, Gary?
But I love that he's getting all of the best fight scenes.
Well, it brings up a question about favorite
and the Raiders
movie,
bar
right?
scene.
You see Van Damme work so hard, but really,
it's all
Cohen's got
Borat.
it.
Yeah.
It brings up a question about favorite movie, right? Because Borat was one of my favorite movie-going experiences of all time, but no subsequent viewing will ever compare to that first time that I watched it, and I didn't know anything was coming. And when he's sitting at dinner with the family in Birmingham and talking about his brother who was kept in a cage, and these people are like, they're so polite, and it's just, oh my gosh. But in subsequent viewings, it's never been even close to as funny. Whereas a movie like Anchorman or something like Boogie Nights, where I watch those. I see those multiple times, and
it gets better each time.
Yeah, I look for that movie was just such a mind-blowing experience. The first time I saw it, like I just cried, and I watched it. I saw it. I was living in Nashville at the time, and I watched it in Tennessee. And midway through, like 3 older couples who were deeply offended by the movie got up and left, and everyone started laughing harder because it was so awesome that happened. I don't know.
Yeah, Raiders bar scene.
The Raiders bar scene is a masterpiece of action filmmaking.
Yeah,
Kill Bill Volume 1 with the
Crazy 88s.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed you don't have car chases on here because I thought that.
Well, let's close out on that top 5 car chases.
I don't know about top 5, but the absolute best ever car chase ever is Mel Gibson's Payback, and that's a car chase that goes on for about 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't remember this
I don't
one.
even remember
It's
it.
ridiculous.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's a deep cut, man.
I mean,
Thank
obviously
you.
French Connection.
Well,
French Connection.
Ronin and Bullet.
Ronin.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Ronin. Yeah, Bullet.
Bullet's
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
French Connection kind of started the whole. How can we cut these things together and make them exciting? Like that. The editing in that film really was like
absolutely.
revolutionary, kind
Yeah.
of. So that's a great one.
And I'm sure something from the Fast and Furious movies I haven't seen.
Yes. Well, not really. I hate, and of course you got to go back to Raiders. The horse versus truck.
Truck chase.
Getting
I
in the
like
Ark.
the chase in the Lone Ranger movie when they're on the train.
That's a great scene.
Oh,
That's
the most
really
recent
good.
one? Yes.
Yeah. That's the only part of the movie that's really good.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
pretty awesome.
As soon as you hear dun
That is good. Yeah.
That movie's
right?
fantastic to
I
the
know,
end.
I
That's
know.
right. The whole
Very
last
inventive.
20 or 30 minutes of that
20
movie
minutes
were
of great.
bonkers.
Yeah, they were bonkers.
What a good callback, Lee.
Like, zing.
Do you think
Some might say bananas.
Yeah, it was bananas.
This shit is bananas.
BANANAS?
BANANAS.
Do you think
Woody
the,
Allen's bananas.
Do you think the horse versus car scene was even the best chase in the Indiana Jones trilogy?
Yes.
Yes.
What about the tank chase fight?
That's
scene?
good.
Number 2.
Yeah, that's good. That's not as good. It's littered with dumb jokes and stuff, whereas Raiders is on point for we have to get gotta get the arc or we all die.
In 1981, where you didn't do a 15-minute long man versus horse versus truck versus jumping versus Nazis, and then it just keeps going, and it's
Why is it
completely mad.
versus jumping?
Sorry, whatever.
And when I have to test out a
Jumping is the enemy.
versus jump. Hey, sometimes you don't succeed.
and when I want to test out a home theater system, I often pull out the tank sequence though from Crusade. Absolutely.
Where survival depends on man versus jumping. It's
An organized crime family out to run the city is up against cops who are buildings.
yeah.
All right, so here's something kind of fun. If you look at the New Jack City poster, but you read the Penguins of Madagascar slogan, just get this. It's the
These are the
movie
two
event
posters
that
that
will
are up.
blow their cover. It makes it better. It almost
Let's make
works.
it better. Jerry Seinfeld and Renee Zellweger. The movie event that will blow their cover. New Jack City.
New Jack City.
What I like is that
These are the posters that are up for anybody who's just listening.
the B movie poster, actually the log line is buried below the release date. It says "Hold on to your honey," but you wouldn't know that because
Under November 2nd.
Which is what I want to see when I look at New Jack City. I want to see Hold On to Your Honey.
Hold on to your honey. By honey, we mean iced tea.
Ice-T and Wesley Snipes.
Look at pre-computer graphics. Look at their faces on New Jack City.
Yeah.
Look how horrible that looks. What is happening?
They all have beards.
All right, well, let's talk to
let's
Jake for a
keep
second
going.
about what
Yep.
you got going on. Jake, tell us about Millennial Parents.
it's been sweeping the world. I would say the nation, but it's.
I mean, tell us. We all know it, but tell us about it anyway.
It's a web series about young parents who are having difficulty accepting that they can't really be as cool as they were before they started having
Now, who's
kids.
this based on, Jake?
I don't know. It's
Any person you know? Any human being?
I was over the last few years, I've been having a series of experiences that have reminded me that I'm not as young as I was when I was cool. And it started happening before I had kids, and then when I had kids, it was really just sort of blew it up in my face. There's a fine line between cool older brother and creepy uncle, and a lot of people in this era of social media are having trouble letting go of that time when they were legitimately cool. And it used to be when people had kids, they would just go to the mattress for 10 years and they would just lose any affiliation with pop culture. They were like parents now. They didn't have to be cool.
They did it the right way. Go ahead.
And now you've got all these people, people are judging you on social media, and you're trying to protect your individual brand, and you have access to pop culture, so you think you're still in it, and you think you're still cool. And the problem is you just can't put as much time into it, and your preferences change. You start watching Disney Junior, and it's just tough sledding. And
I am having trouble relating to this because there was no point in my life when I was cool. So the fact that I'm sliding into uncool perhaps is not a big deal for me.
Easy transition.
Yeah, I've been in uncool for most of my adult life.
But Jake was cool.
See, that's got to be hard when you've actually been
still
cool.
is. I don't know who he's talking about. With
It's-
this
That's got to
series.
be different.
I don't know if I was ever cool. The dad in our series definitely was cool at one point. But it's basically, it's 2-minute vignettes, relationship vignettes about these parents who are having in the midst of an identity crisis that is sort of furthered by the fact that they have kids. So this isn't like one of those, we're new parents and now we wear Bjorns at the park. Look at us. Let's make jokes about our
they're
babies
sort
going to
of
the bathroom.
sketches, yeah.
It's much more, it's much more commentary on sort of the lunacy of what happens to people as they try to sort of brand themselves and their family. We've got an episode where it's clear that the wife, Annie, who is in a constant keep up with the Joneses battle for who has a better life with her sister, her sister posts pictures from Disney World, and so she wants them to go to this theme park that their son isn't old enough to ride any of the rides, and her husband calls her out. He says, you don't really want to go. You just want the pictures so people think that we had an awesome time there. And that's sort of like, I see that all the time where people post these pictures on Facebook.
Check out what I'm doing.
Yeah, where you look in the background and you're like, that does not look like you had a good day. Like, you can throw as many filters as you want, right? But like, I know that there's a line of like 40 people waiting in line for the one porta potty if you look like in this picture that you should have cropped before you posted on Facebook. That was not a good time. But it's almost like it's less about the experience that you have and much more about the experience that you want people to perceive that you had.
Yeah. Quick, get the photo before the kids throw up and before everybody starts getting cranky, and yeah.
Now I got a clip from Fake Baby Romance.
Yeah.
So set that up at the top. Like, how
sure.
does it,
So
set up the clip. Oh, this is great. We don't do this much on the show, do we? Go ahead and set up the clip for us.
So Fake Baby Romance, Annie, again, whereas Kurt, who's the dad in the show, he wants to be cool. Annie really wants to be sophisticated and polite and sort of a woman who has it all together. And when she gets sort of annoyed or she finds problems with something, she has trouble being direct about it. She sort of ends up passive-aggressive and ends up sort of sticking her foot in her mouth in other ways. And in this clip, she's with a mom friend who's really annoying and overbearing and wants their kids to wear matching T-shirts that say Little Hubby and Little Wifey.
How sweet are these? They totally have to wear them to the party later. But they're not married. Obvi, but they're baby boyfriend and girlfriend.
Tanner's more of a baby bachelor.
Well, then it's about time you got a rose.
Jen, I'm not really comfortable with the idea of fake baby romance.
Why? Do you think that Tanner's too good for Rose?
No.
Is it her biting?
Jen.
Lots of little girls scratch their hoo-ha that aggressively, Annie.
I didn't even...
And her therapist told me that the screaming is only temporary and it's part of her self-expression.
Of course.
Then what? What is it? What year is this, Annie?
What?
I'm so disappointed in you.
Oh, Jen, why would you even go there?
Because you're not woman enough to say it to my face.
Yes, I am. Say what?
You don't want Tanner to date Rose because she's fat.
Why would I care if she's black? Fat. Why would I care if she's fat?
That is not what you said.
In my setup, it might have been good to mention that the other mother is African American.
Yeah, but that kind of throws at you. Still, we get it. And is this kind of her thing? She sticks her foot in her mouth a lot.
She does. There's another episode where they're sitting and having drinks with friends of theirs who are sort of like very sort of TED Talk cosmopolitan people. Like, they're super excited about talking about how cosmopolitan they are, and they're talking about the sort of the news issues of the day. And the thing is, Annie and Kurt don't watch the news because every headline threatens to kill their children. But Annie tries to play it off like she does, and so she starts trying to BS about some headline about some embargo that's happening, and she just digs it deeper and deeper. So yeah, that's something that she does in her sort of quest to be perceived as being more sophisticated than she can be.
I can get behind that character.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the one you would get into, Paul and Karen as well, probably is the one that got on Huffington Post, which is definitely much more the Millennial Parents sort of thing, because they come up with new
directly
baby
lullabies. Yeah, so that was directly ripped from my life. Basically, the episode is about how a dad who was raised on like hip-hop music in the 90s has trouble singing lullabies to his kid because like and it was from my life. When I was growing up, my dad used to sing songs from his childhood to me when I was going to sleep. It was like Motown,
Yeah.
And like these were the songs. Like all the songs that I grew up with had explicit lyrics, right? So now I've got a kid and I'm singing, like I have to sing the radio edited versions of songs or just totally omit words in the middle, because even songs that you think should be sweet are not sweet, right? There's even and it extends beyond hip hop. There's a song, if you guys know who Amos Lee is, he's got a song called Night Train that's like a sweet lullaby sounding song, but the lyrics are, I've been working on a night train, drinking coffee, taking cocaine, right? And so it's a wonderful song. I definitely sing it to my kid and change the lyrics to drinking coffee about the whole way.
You can't. There's no song that doesn't have this. I mean, you could be like, "Oh, well, I want to play that." What is that song? Party rockers in the house. You think like, I'm just gonna play that for my party for kids? It'll be fun. Yeah. There's a line in there. I'm going through these hoes like Drano.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in there, and if you're not listening, that's what you're putting on the kids.
What we end up doing in songs, you just end up like saying something really loud during those points when it comes up.
Yes.
But it's tough because even now with this unlimited artistic expression, even the slow jams are throwing out dirty lyrics.
I work up at City Walk. Universal City Walk was excited to launch their new stage they built up there with CeeLo Green. They're like, the guy's huge. He's got this huge career, but don't do the Forget You version of the song. Don't do and so. But it doesn't matter because there's 2,000 people in City Walk, and when it comes time to say it, now you have 2,000 people saying it instead of him just saying "F you." But
it's a dangerous world out there,
Yeah, he saw you can't escape it. So I got to watch that one.
That's the kind of stuff that we talk about. These are challenges that are faced by millennial parents that other groups have not had to deal with.
And I see you have thousands of hits because you get the right time. It's about 2 minutes, like you said, 2.5 sometimes.
Yeah, the idea is that it's digestible, like Sunday morning cartoons in the paper would be digestible. So it's
easy like Sunday morning. That's a good one to sing to a kid.
Because what does that mean? But yeah, they're just a slew of wonderful follow-up questions depending on how old your child is. But yeah, I mean, I've made a few different web series now and been sort of involved with like the indie TV festival circuit and stuff, and the one that
I got a clip from Distraction Team.
Oh yeah, I've got an animated show that it has nothing to do with parents, though there is depending on what clip you pulled, there might be babies involved.
Previously on the
Distraction Team. Army made a mistake, dropped a bomb on an Iowa petting zoo. Y'all got 3 hours till the media finds out who done it.
Come on, let's think about this. What does the Heartland love more than fuzzy animals?
Mayonnaise, Costco, tramp stamps.
Hiding their porn?
Guns, tank tops, gaining weight.
What about babies?
Distraction Team.
So then what happens?
They come up with a contest for the sexiest baby on the internet competition, which sets off a riot because all the moms start destroying cities waiting to find out if their child won the sexiest baby on the internet competition.
But the Distraction Team finds, obviously, something that happened that they have to cover up.
Their job is whenever the government makes a mistake, their job is to distract the country with either memes or rumors or contests or anything like that. And so they're a group of sort of socially challenged young millennials who have seemingly the best job in the world, which is they just surf the internet all day and come up with cool things to distract people. They have crazy access, but they have to work undercover, and so there's this whole problem for them, which is what good is being a covert secret agent if you can't tweet about it?
Do you have bigger plans for either of these projects? You want to go into like a full TV or film or anything?
I'm actually hoping to downgrade all of these projects. I want to go in minimalist. Hopefully, no. I mean, the hope is that you develop them and you're able to have a platform to make more of them and to do more stuff. What was fun when we were doing Millennial Parents, switching between season 1 and season 2, and I work with that on I work on that project with a really talented creative collaborator named Natalie Irby, who I've worked with on a number of projects. But she and I, when we moved from season 1 to season 2, because of some of the press and exposure we got off season 1, we were able to shoot a couple episodes in a sound stage for season 2, and we seems like we've got some big things coming for the next batch of episodes that we're going to do in 2015. So the hope is, if you can sell something up to television, that's great, but as soon as you start like resting on that as the only next option, you're not going to end up making anything else, and you're it's a good way to stall a project. So we've got a great cast and crew that work on it, work on the show with us, and we're just excited to make more of them.
I've heard it's very well AD'd.
Yeah, we had an AD for season 2 who was distractingly good looking. But other than the fact that he almost burned down my house by turning on a stove with his ass during production.
All right, never mind. I heard he's not that great.
Yeah, why did you bring that up?
Everything's a minefield in your house. I'm sorry.
It's not large, but the
Well, millennialparents.com. Is there a place to watch Distraction Team?
not yet. Distraction
Not yet.
Team
All right,
is
good but it played in the festival, right?
Yeah, we premiered that at the New York TV Festival in October, and it people liked it a lot, and we're having a lot of good conversations about both projects right now.
I can't imagine it's easy to crank out a animated film on an indie level, right?
Super hard.
Yeah.
We ended up, what we did with that project is we initially had some conversations with networks about that project, and then realized it's really hard to sell an animated project to a network if you have no experience in animation. But people liked
It looks good.
They liked, well, here's the
animation
deal.
looks great.
They liked the idea enough that we realized that if we went out and talked to independent animation studios about it, that we could find a partner on that level who maybe wasn't one of the 3 or 4 studios that's making all of the shows in Los Angeles. And that's what we ended up doing. We found a great studio out of Tampa called Riley Animation. And my partner, my creative collaborator on that project, Pat Danaher, who's an animator in LA, we were really excited about the work that those guys did. And they were super excited because they'd done some children's TV and a ton of corporate work, but they didn't have any sort of edgy adult animation stuff, and so they hopped on and we're really excited about where that project's facing. But yeah, it's a bear, man. If you haven't gone through the process of making animation, there's so much work on the front end that supposedly makes your life easier when you get into seasons 2, 3, and 4. But it takes a lot more resources to pump out a lot less content.
It looks like a real animated show. It's pretty impressive, actually.
We got all the colors and everything, man.
All the colors. They have all of them.
All right, well, let's get from that
All
project
6.
on to...
What did you see this week?
What did you see this week? That is the question I put to the table every week.
I saw Ocean's 12.
Was that on TBS?
It was on USA.
USA. Okay.
Which I have now shifted my viewing to USA.
He watches TV like a millennial parent.
USA
Or he
report.
watches movies like a millennial parent, I should say. Only at home, only on cable.
And I put this to the table because I'm not sure what I think of it. I thought I enjoyed it. It all went screwy when they did the Julia Roberts bit, and you kind of muddle through that. But
For
at
those
the
who haven't seen the movie, they pass off Julia Roberts.
As
No, they
Julia
pass
Ro-
off someone as Julia Roberts,
Well,
right?
Julia Roberts plays
Okay.
Danny Ocean's wife, Tess.
That's right.
And they pretend Tess is Julia Roberts in order to access this Fabergé egg that they're trying to heist. But at the end of the movie, it's revealed how they do it, right? So just like in Ocean's 11, they walk you through all the maneuvers and the things they did. Well, it turns out they had the egg the whole time, right? And
Lee, here's the deal. You know how when it's Saturday afternoon and you're going to go to the store and you can't find your car keys?
yeah.
And then you look for like 3 hours and then you go, oh, there they are. They're by the toaster.
Yeah.
They were there the whole time.
Right? But I do that looking for my benefit, not to have people
But
watch
if
me
I
look
was
for my
watching you through the window and I saw you looking stupid for 3 hours, it might be to my benefit.
Maybe.
That is one silly heist if it was where you first looked.
Well,
if all the money in the bag was where you first looked.
Well, the point is that I felt a little let down because it wasn't as well thought out a plan as the Ocean's 11 because it was all just a ruse. Am I right about this, Jake?
A ruse, I tell you.
I like that you felt let down because
I
it
was.
suggests you had expectations that were like really high.
Yes!
You know?
I
Come
did.
on, Ocean's 11 is fantastic.
I love
you wanted
Ocean's
to know how
11.
I watch Ocean's 11 to this day and still have to slow down my thinking to make sure I understand how they did this. When did the money leave? Who got the money? Where is it? What bags is it in? You know, when did the lights go out? When did the camera come on?
Where's the acrobat in which canister?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did he breathe? All those things.
How did they quickly make the full model warehouse of the casino?
Right.
Yeah. The model in the warehouse.
Within eyesight of the actual casino, and nobody saw this happening. Like,
right.
Nobody worried about where did
Outskirts of town.
Yeah, where did 3 vans go? I mean, there's all sorts of ways they can get traced, but Ocean's 12 at the end, they're like,
see, you're describing this to me, and that's the first I've remembered that plot since I saw it.
12 or 11.
Yeah, 12. Just kind of went.
Yeah,
went out the.
but it's
out of my
charming
head.
because they're all charming and
Casey Affleck.
He's got a great mustache in this one.
I don't even know if I saw this movie. That's how fast that went
you
out
may
of my
not
head.
have. Yeah. But it does have Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies that you happen to catch on cable, I had at the beginning of this week, I was a little under the weather, which meant that I was going to watch some terrible movies that came up on cable that I wanted that would be intriguing enough for me to stay awake sort of intermittently between sickness-induced naps.
That's kind of what I've been doing this whole show. Yeah, go ahead.
Sickness-induced nap. That's
what I'm saying.
That's a separate podcast.
Karen's not well.
Hashtag meta. But I caught the gem that I had somehow missed when it came out 9-10 years ago. Four Brothers.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg. I saw that. Terrible.
Correct. Starring Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese, a prediscovered Garrett Hedlund, and Andre Benjamin, aka Andre 3000.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
John Singleton, right?
Yeah.
The
John
Mighty Have
Singleton.
Fallen.
And, but there's a lot more people. There's a pre-modern family, Sofia Vergara, in that.
Oh, wow.
Who plays a girlfriend who they all call La Vida Loca.
Oh, what year did it come out? La Vida Loca?
Later than that joke should have been appropriate.
In development.
And because Paul likes to know these things, Mark Wahlberg beat a man to the point that he lost sight in his left eye, and then another man unconscious, spent 45 days in jail. But he's
trying to erase that.
Yeah, he's trying to get a pardon now.
Yeah.
Paul likes when I bring up all the horrible things people have done.
Yeah. What's wrong with Judd Nelson, Lee?
He's whacked out on the
goofballs.
On the goofballs.
He's bananas on the goofballs.
He's bananas on the goofballs, I tell you.
I just remember that last shot of Four Brothers is so overwrought, where they're like, "Where's Mark Wahlberg?" And he's like walking across the ice or whatever. And it's like it's so heroic, like over heroic, like way too heroic for a crime drama.
They have one of the great least believable like sports montages in that movie. All four brothers decide they eat 5 minutes of Thanksgiving dinner where somehow the four of them have made an incredible turkey and all the side dishes. They eat 5 minutes and Mark Wahlberg says, "I can't handle this. Let's go get a pickup game," and they all go play pickup hockey. And it is one of the least believable. And this is at this point I'm wide awake because I'm like, how are they going to shoot all these guys playing pickup hockey? Because I think Andre Benjamin's from Atlanta, where
I believe he's mentioned that in a song or two.
Big hockey town.
You know they've got a team there now, but that doesn't mean they have a real great grassroots farm system. And I didn't know Tyrese skated a lot, and I didn't. Garrett Hedlund, I know, is from Minnesota, so he's got a shot. But I don't even think Mark Wahlberg skates that well.
So it's all in the editing. It's all in the editing.
But it's also like they don't just
they play basketball.
Well, it's in Detroit. It's set in Detroit. But
that movie's cold, beginning to end.
They play like hardcore physical pickup hockey too. So like they're talking trash. They're with like real nice close-ups when they talk trash, and then you're like, why does Tyrese's when he skates he's got long blonde hair? You know, it's like what's the
Which one of the Hanson brothers is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I saw a movie called Father of Invention. I'm writing a script about an inventor, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't following in line with this movie I heard about that stars Kevin Spacey as this guy who used to be a Ron Popeil type, and he gets out of prison, and he's got to have one last invention to get him back on top. And we were going to cover it on the show, but it seemed like it was kind of tanking in how well it was going to be received, or if it was going to get a wide release. And sure enough, now it's just on YouTube for free.
Oh, wow.
But it's got Heather Graham, who's horrible, and
it's got Heather Graham, who's horrible.
and a girl I can't remember her name, also horrible. It's a bad movie. So I'm happy to say that my script is nothing like this horrible movie from 2011. That if you're thinking, oh, Kevin Spacey's got to be something going on there, it's bad. It's surface and lame.
One of my biggest curiosities is that movie about the guy who invented the intermittent wipers.
Flash of Brilliance. What was the name?
Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius is the name of it.
And that is the strangest sounding movie. A movie about the guy who invented intermittent wipers. I'm so curious to see how that movie sustains itself. I know he gets the idea stolen from him, but at the end of the day, it's intermittent wipers.
Greg Kinnear, right?
Yeah, Greg Kinnear.
With the title of that movie, you would think that it was maybe about the guy who touched off New York's exposure art scene in the 70s.
Flash of genius. I'm going to show him my dick. I don't know if that's art. I'm going to show him my dick. Flash of genius.
Adam and I saw Fury finally.
Oh yeah, we did.
It came out in October, but
yeah, that was really enjoyable. I really liked that movie. I mean, of course, I like some Brad Pitt. And,
whatever he does, worth seeing.
I mean, he's just playing a grizzled World War II guy. Like, how am I not going to enjoy that? It really is kind of the guy from Inglourious Basterds, just less stylized.
Yeah, less Tarantino'd.
Yeah, less Tarantino'd.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's super gory, wickedly profane. I mean, it's like
it's a war movie.
If you watched Guns of Navarone, and watch Fury, you'll be like, wow, the war movie has become this thing. It's like a super hard R for all you kids who love 7 Years in Tibet. Take it easy on Fury.
There has been some transition. I like how you went back to Guns of Navarone. In 1962,
I was thinking about how World War II movies have changed because we've now had 80 years to make them or whatever.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Saving Private Ryan, Platoon, not kids movies.
Yeah, but you won't find any movie anymore that's like even Force 10 from Navarone. And that's
I love
more
recent. Monuments Men was too watered down. And that was a World War II movie.
Probably not a lot of battle in that one, is
there?
But there are moments where they have to go face to face with the Nazis to get the art out in time, and they just water it down. That's why I didn't like that movie, not because I wanted it to be more violent, but I wanted it to take a stand.
Yeah, the movie's not good.
To decide what kind of movie it was.
Yeah.
Is that what you watched this week?
No, I've been busy working on Christmas Carol again. I never had time to watch anything. I watched the first couple of episodes of Walking Dead.
Good stuff, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Of the beginning of the series?
Yeah, because I'm very weird. I came into it in season 4 and loved it.
Oh.
And now I'm going back, and it's kind of fun because I get to meet everybody. It's almost like I get to hear all their origin stories.
Who's that guy? Oh, it's Rick.
Oh my God! I'm like, look at who is he? Yeah.
And you get to find irony in things they say.
Oh,
the
right.
ones that die.
Oh my God!
Well, it's a good thing I'm going to live forever. Aha!
Aha! I also find it interesting that Carol's a total wuss bag, and I'm like, oh, wait until she kicks so much ass.
When you watch Love Actually this Christmas?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, last week.
Yeah. Are you like, there's Rick?
Yes, I did. I absolutely did because I didn't know that I was in love with him until this viewing of Love Actually. I thought he was kind of a wuss bag the first couple viewings, but now I see that he can kill zombies and he's badass.
It's sort of like what happened with your experience with Carol also. You watch Love Actually and you're like, oh, he's such a wuss here.
Right.
He can't even tell her how he feels.
But now he can totally take a hammer and put it through the Walking Dead's head with no issue.
Put it through Chiwetel Ejiofor's head and just take care of Knightley. Now that's what he would do.
That's exactly
he wouldn't need this song and these stinking little cards to go in excess on the guy.
He wouldn't need Carol singers.
He was also in Four Brothers, not Rick.
Chiwetel Ejiofor?
Yeah.
Nice. That's the most fun name to say.
He's been in a ton of stuff before he got this Oscar nomination.
What's more fun to
last year.
say, Chiwetel Ejiofor or Thalmus Rasulullah?
God, that was fun.
I also saw Selma, the big movie about the Selma, Alabama riots and Martin Luther King. Well, he was leading a peaceful march until the cops turned it into a riot. Very solid, good movie. I don't know if it's gonna have a surge here now that it's finally getting out for industry screenings. It didn't get any SAG Award nominations this morning, but I think the Globes, Critics' Choice Awards, and Academy Awards will treat it differently.
Who's the main character in that? Is it
MLK?
King? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it's played by David Oyelowo.
Well, no, sometimes like they do these historical things where they're like, well, here's this one person that made a difference. It's not always about.
Yeah, there's no Forrest Gump. This is it's about kids.
I don't even mean that, but like there's historical ones that cover some subset of it.
The movie is Selma. It centers on Doug, a
hardware salesman in Alabama,
a slightly racist soda fountain clerk.
Look, I know a lot about the Selma thing, and obviously it's going to focus on Selma. She's a very important
person in it. Should have told her not to sit in the back of the bus.
She was one of the help. Yeah, exactly.
When Selma sits in the back of the bus, I understand that's.
And lastly and quickly, and we'll get on to Karen's birthdays, I saw Hector in the Search for Happiness. I had a big movie week, which is a hokey as hell movie, but is sort of saved by Simon Pegg and has a really good message, and it must have been in a emotional mood because I enjoyed it.
What was
it's
that?
not great. Hector in the Search for Happiness.
Oh.
They were giving away free tickets last weekend at AMC theaters, so I went.
And hey, for Paul, that's a reason to see a movie.
That's a reason to see a movie.
Hey, I will say that the guy that was, and when we saw Fury, it was great. We saw there was three of the actors. It was Brad Pitt and then
Logan Lerman, John Bernthal of Walking Dead,
and John Bernthal of Walking Dead. And the other movie I saw this week was the Stallone versus De Niro movie, Grudge Match.
He's in that, yeah,
and he's in that as well.
I saw that this week also.
That's a pretty good movie. There's a lot of enjoyable moments in that, and everyone plays off their personality pretty well. No, you didn't.
I felt terrible watching that fight scene.
Really? Oh, the fight scene. Well,
I felt
all right. The
horrible.
Fight scene's not.
I felt like I was watching something.
And this is De Niro and Stallone, right?
Like watching that, I felt like Am I a bad person? Like sometimes when I watch mixed martial
it's
arts,
like watching old guys fight, like
bum fight.
Well,
bum fights, yeah, but with
is this
guys.
A bum fight? Oh, now I feel bad.
No, go ahead.
Who watches bum fights?
No, but
you don't remember that?
You'd feel bad.
Oh, plenty of people.
You'd feel bad.
It
was a thing.
I was watching it, and the problem is you're like, I started thinking because Stallone is much thinner than he is in most of his action movies. Like if you look at Expendables, Stallone, like he's got a good. He went like Clooney in The American. Like he just it looked like he'd just been doing sit-ups and kale juices for like.
That's right.
Whereas he's actually kind of thin in this movie.
Right. I mean, he's in shape. He's still Stallone, so he went
but you can
crazy.
Still make out a
for
lot
it.
of bones when you look at him. Still make out a lot of bones.
Oh, you can make out bones
and
and veins and muscles.
And then De Niro, I don't want to see him with his shirt off. Like,
yeah.
What did we say? Did we say this once? That Stallone just looks like a bodies exhibit version of himself.
Yes, exactly.
Now.
Here's the circulatory system. Oh, that's Stallone.
I'll have to go into the Babadook next week, which I also saw, an Australian horror film that's out there. But because it's time for the grand finale, Karen's celebration of the birthdays of those who make the movies, Karen's birthdays. Take it away.
All right, so let's start off our week of birthdays by wishing a very happy birthday to Haley Steinfeld, who turned 17 but can play anywhere from a child actress to an Oscar-nominated actress. Do you guys know that little girl from True Grit?
True Grit.
Oh, that's her.
The one with the big eyebrow.
And she's moved on to something recently, right?
She was in The Homesman.
Mm-hmm.
She's good in another movie. What was the movie where she played like the daughter who played Begin Again? She's in Begin Again as well, and that's a great film.
I don't
from this
remember that
last
movie.
year.
Begin Again.
Mark Ruffalo. Remember, as the music manager for
Oh,
Keira
right.
Knightley, and
I don't remember
that's his
her
daughter.
character.
That was his daughter.
Oh.
Well, that's right. I just saw part of that.
Yeah,
We
it's
know that
good.
she starred alongside Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges in True Grit, and she's been acting since she was 8, and she was born in Tarzana, which I think is amazing, because if you've ever been to Tarzana, to think that somebody got out of Tarzana is pretty good.
I didn't know people were born there.
I know. That's what I know that sounds weird. It
I know.
struck
I
me
lived
too.
in Tarzana, but
to be born in Tarzana?
right?
Right? I don't know.
Born in Tarzana?
Is that where the name Tarzan comes from?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
John
actually-
Burroughs. Not John
okay.
Burroughs. Who wrote
Edgar Burroughs.
Edgar Burroughs.
Yeah.
She's currently in the movie The Homesman that Paul was talking about. She has a really tiny part in it, but you kind of get excited when you see her coming. She's a pretty good little actress. Now, I find this funny. I went through her IMDb, and they talk about different things that she likes to do, and she seems like a cool kid. But one of her favorite things to do is the Facebook.
The Facebook.
The Facebook. I thought, wow, this girl's got this amazing career.
I
And
know.
one of her favorite things to do is Facebook. Which makes me wonder, like, you know how when we were talking earlier about millennials, they try to put up their perfect life on Facebook? So you'll take like 7 pictures with you and your cat until you get the exact right one. So if I go look at her Facebook,
All
is it
the
just going to
time.
be pictures of her with Matt Damon and her with Tommy Lee Jones and her with, like, awesome...
I made lasagna. I was at the Oscars.
I know.
My life.
Fuck you. No wonder her favorite thing is the Facebook. Because her fucking Facebook is going to be really awesome.
Yeah, if I had that life, I'd want to rub it in everyone's face.
Exactly.
That's what Facebook's for.
She's remained a pretty good actress. I hope she keeps going.
Yeah, well, she's only 17, so
Yeah.
she's got a lot of...
Well, I mean, hey, she
Grit
could
ahead
fall.
of her.
What, she's a young actress, right? She could fall into drugs at any minute.
Here's the thing I
I'm glad she
love
has
is
it.
that since all of
I
you
think
know
she's doing a good job.
You all know that she's 17, so no one has made a comment about how she looks.
I only remember her from Rooster
True
Cogburn.
Grit.
Yeah, she's
True
still a
Grit.
little girl as
Good.
far as I can think of.
Good for all of you. You've passed my test.
Good for all of you, mostly Lee.
Well,
Continue.
well, she also didn't look like she was going to blossom into much. So
Oh, okay.
because those Full
Why
House
did
girls,
I give you the
Dig.
option
No.
to dig on that poor little
those
girl?
Full House girls, you saw that coming. You saw right around 9 or
Jesus.
10. You're like, I'm going to keep an eye on these two.
All right, let's go on to another beautiful woman. Let's wish a happy birthday to Miss Dame Judi Dench, who turns
She blossomed.
Don't call her that. Don't call her that.
who turns
that's
80,
so old.
but can
Birds,
play
dames.
anywhere from a prostitute, originating the role of Sally Bowles in the West End production of Cabaret, to a queen in
Broad
Shakespeare in
booty.
Love. What? Yes, sir.
No, the dame. The dame
to-
always makes me laugh.
To M from James Bond. Is that what you're saying?
I was just saying that she was just playing anywhere from a prostitute to a queen. But most women, those are the roles you play. And even if you are Judi Dench, you play either prostitute
somewhere in between.
or queen. So those are kind of the whole plethora of roles. But she also got to be in some James Bond shit.
Yeah, she made the fun transition between the Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. That's kind of continues
That's
the story.
Dame Judi Dench?
That is
That
Dame.
I thought that
Isn't
was
that
just
cool?
John Cleese aging very poorly.
Oh.
Zing, boing.
Get
Little
this.
plate Q. Get out of here.
She shares 2 roles in common with Kate Winslet and Kate Blanchett. Do you know what roles that she played the same that Kate Winslet played? Anybody
Wait,
guess?
she played the same role?
Yeah, not exactly the same time, but at some point in her career, both she and Kate Winslet played the same character.
I can give you one. I can't remember the last name, but in the film Iris, she
Yeah.
played the older version of Kate Winslet.
That's right. And then also...
Who was the other one? Kate Blanchett.
Wendy from Peter Pan.
No, good guess, though.
Oh, I know.
Because she
I know-
can fly.
I know Kate Blanchett. too,
Kate
yeah.
Blanchett, and she played...
Titanic.
no,
That's
but
Winslet.
that
That's
was
Winslet.
Kate Winslet. No, she played Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And so she also got nominated. I think she also won for Queen Elizabeth, and she had the least amount of screen time of any actress ever. 2 minutes and 45 seconds, something like that.
To win an Oscar, yeah.
That-
Beatrice Straight in Network also had a very small role. She won the Oscar.
All 3 of these
Doesn't
women...
matter for supporting actress, I guess.
I guess it doesn't matter. You just have to show up and be great
Support.
for 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Be supportive.
Kate Winslet, Kate Blanchett, and Judi Dench all played this role. Now, not in the movies, but in some point in their careers.
They all played this role.
This
you're-
role, and it's a well-known role. It's Shakespeare.
Prostitute.
Queen.
Close. Ophelia and Hamlet.
Oh.
All of those women played that role.
I believe that.
Adam played the role where he just had to show up and be great for 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
I know, right?
And he
there
ended up burning his house down.
was- with his ass, apparently. I wanted to see if Bill Murray and Judi Dench never worked together, so I Googled them because that is the best way to spend your time is Googling 2 names randomly. And the one connection the 2 of them had on many websites with both of them...
Kevin Bacon.
No, how great would that have been? Both of them were on this websites for doing movies for money. According to many websites, Bill Murray only did Garfield the Cat for money. And Judi Dench, they said, did the same thing for what movie? Just for the money. Judi Dench did it for the...
Goldeneye?
The
No.
most exotic Marigold Hotel.
No, that actually had a little bit of credibility. This movie
you're
is
right.
full on shit, and she
Yeah.
did it, and I don't know why she
5
money.
brothers.
Riddick. Riddick.
Riddick?
Oh, she was Riddick.
Oh, she's in
The first one, The Chronicles of Riddick.
Damn
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Second
Judi Dench was in Riddick.
The Chronicles, what, of Riddick?
And Paul, I have Lee, you know how much I like when celebrities sing.
You do. People ask me 2 things about
Yes?
Karen. I say, first of all, Karen loves her some Chris Rock, especially when she envisions him as Terry Crews.
That is true.
And 2, she cannot get enough of celebrity singing.
Especially when they're singing, and I don't know if they necessarily should be. And that's one of my favorite things. Now, this is kind of cool. On the West End of London, their version of Broadway, Sally Bowles, the character in Cabaret, was done by Judi Dench. And they gave her the role because of her sassiness and the fact that she just blew. She just
That's how I get
owned
most of my roles.
I think she might have gotten
Blew
this role by
Candor
blowing
Yeah,
Candor Neb.
games.
She just came in, and even though she wasn't a trained singer, she just blew it out of the water with her portrayal of Sally Bowles. So here's a little of her singing Cabaret from Cabaret.
What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play.
We don't need intonation. We don't need length of notes. Who
She
cares?
sang in 9, so I'm not too surprised that she
I don't think her
has a singing background.
This is like Christopher Walken in the Peter Pan Live.
Exactly.
Did you see that?
So part of
clips,
it,
yeah.
my 3-year-old and his 4-year-old cousin were watching part of it, and it made me think that I really wished I had watched it live and kept up with Twitter as
Yeah,
it was,
that was
as it
quick.
was happening.
Social media was raging.
That's the updated version of Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, these new, the last live thing and this one, I mean, isn't it the equivalent of that breakfast thing that Taco Bell invented just so it would get tweeted? Right? Like, nobody's
Yeah,
really going to eat a Taco Bell breakfast or the Double Down from KFC.
Yeah.
It's just there for Twitter fodder, right?
Yeah.
It's not a real thing.
Put our name blame out there because we have this hideous sandwich. Now.
Taco Bell's there's now the Mountain Dew, the Doritos flavored Mountain Dew. Did you hear about this? It's just absolutely out there. People go Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew on Twitter, and it did. It's mustache. It's bacon and mustaches. It's
Peter Pan.
Hipster food.
Yeah.
Hipster entertainment.
Hipster doofusing food.
All right, well, that wraps another movie showcast, everybody. Follow us on Twitter at The Movie Guys. Speaking of social media, Facebook.com/The Movie Guys, YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, Instagram. We're on LinkedIn, too. So, fuck it. Thanks to Jake Greene, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
And once again, give us your plugs.
Millennialparents.com or youtube.com/millennialparents.
And what do you got for social and all that? You got a Twitter and all that?
Oh, we do. We're Mill Parents on Twitter, and we're on Facebook too at Millennial Parents.
Do you have a personal one that you crack wise on?
Jake Greene.
There you go. And there's an E at the end.
There is an E at the end.
There you go. Thanks to Steve Scholes for writing contributions that he gives to the show every week. And remember, you can always find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. Next week, we'll be back with our holiday special. Tons of movies covered, tons of special guests. Don't miss it, and we will see you then.